Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Monday here on Quad Radio. It's Mechanic Monday once again, and today we're going to talk with one of the industry-leading mechanics and probably one of the biggest icons in the sport as far as ATV motocross is concerned and mechanics, and that's Mr. Paul Turner. Paul, welcome to Quad Radio.
How you doing? How's everybody?
And we're doing great over here in Ohio, and I know the weather's beautiful here today on a Monday, and I know just talking to you offline there just a few moments ago, you were saying that it's beautiful there in New Jersey as well.
Yeah, it's been a weird winter actually this year. It's right now I think it's like 51 degrees, and haven't had that in a long, long time. That's for sure. At this time of year.
Well, sounds like you got plenty of time on your hands, man. Also, kind of kick back and being a dad this year. It looks like. Yeah,
I'm gonna I think take the year off. Fortunately, nothing came up for me this year. Just taking care of my three kids, Zoe, Melina, and Sophia, and also my beautiful wife, Rebecca, as well.
Well, I tell you, man, that one thing's for sure. You couldn't ask for a good reason to stay home, and you're probably not too disappointed. I'm sure you'd like to be out there on the road some, but at the same time, it's nice to be at home all the time.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I think it's time to stay home and watch my kids grow up and, do some fishing, that's for sure, this year.
Wow. Fishing does sound good, Paul. Let's talk a little bit about it. You said you've been doing this for a long time, and as I mentioned whenever we first started talking about this, that you are an icon in the sport as far as mechanics go, and you have been around, and you've talked and worked with a lot of individuals in this sport over the years. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I started out back in '98 with a rider called Travis Fader. His name's Travis Fader. I worked with him in Duncan Racing with Lauren Duncan and Lenny Duncan, two great guys. Actually, Travis is one of my best friends. And we started working on these quads way back then. I was actually a dirt bike mechanic before then, and on the national circuit for that since I was probably around 16 years old until I started with Travis, and then. In 2000, Travis and I won the GNC championship, so it was kind of interesting. And then, he decided to retire, and then I took a little bit of time off, and then Suzuki called me. Wayne Hinson from Hinson Racing called me because he was a team manager back in the day, and offered me a position on the quad team. So I took it along with Ryan Cox, one of my other good friends, actually.
Yeah.
And just went from there.
Yeah, I know we talked to Ryan there last week. He mentioned how good of friends you guys were. And I know in the past few years we've seen you around in a couple of different pits as well, a couple of different pro riders.
Oh, yeah. I've been I went with Doug Gus for a couple of years, and then I went to Yamaha Racing with Pat Brown and did him for almost 3 years. And then I went to Thomas Brown after that with Yamaha. So it's been a great little ride for sure.
No doubt. It really sounds like it. And a break, it sounds like you might deserve one after all those years for sure. And it sounds like you've also seen the sport grow quite a bit. Actually, sounds like you and I joined probably around the same time. I was mid 90s there, about 96 or so, whenever I first started being associated with ATV motocross. And I've seen a lot since then. I remember you mentioned the GNC championship, and we've referred to this before on Quad Radio, but that championship back then, it was a lot different actually than what it is right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely different it is now. This era that's going on, the riders are unbelievably fast. I mean, I can't believe how fast that all these manufacturers are getting these motorcycles. It actually amazes me, to be honest with you. But it definitely is a difference from back then to now, for sure.
And not only the bikes themselves, Paul, but I mean, I'm talking about the series itself. I mean, we're talking from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the series has definitely grown. It went from, going into box fans like I did to now we were into 18-wheelers, and we had full factories, and Kawasaki got involved, and Suzuki really got involved, and Can-Am's involved now, and Yamaha as well. I mean, they're all involved, and it's great. It's just great to see that the big ones are in, because before then it was all individual, sponsorship. Duncan Racing was really one of the big ones to have. and Curtis Sparks and, all them guys. It's just very, very, very different for sure.
No doubt, and we're seeing a big swing in that too, going back to a lot of that as well today, Paul. But and also the actual GNC Championship itself, how it used to be formatted with the I guess what is called Extreme Dirt Track Championship now with the TT races and things of that nature. I mean, it made for a pretty wild season back in the day, I guess you could say.
Oh, sure. I mean, we had I had to set up 2 different bikes. Six races and with a motocross setup, and then I had to make a whole other TT bike for a holder series, and then race that as well in between each other. So it was double the work for me, that's for sure. But I tell you what, I enjoy TT racing because it's pretty interesting how fast we can get them in the setups, we can get them going. And then unfortunately they split up and they're not the same thing. They have 2 different series, which I think was better for the sport because it started getting a little bit expensive for a lot of the riders and a lot of the manufacturers to do both things. And I don't know, I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some growth in that market as well with them being split off. They've had some struggling years, but I see some light at the end of the tunnel for some reason for those guys. And, we've seen them on TV and so forth. And, with the ATV motocross on TV, it's obviously exploded with Racer TV that, every Sunday, there's some sort of racing on there that could be associated with ATV in some sorts. There's some GNCC bike stuff on there, but if you look at it, most of the programming on NBC Sports on Racer TV is some way, shape, or form ATV related. You know what I mean? So the exposure is definitely there. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, when Travis started racing, we weren't even on TV. And now we're on NBC Sports. I mean, that's phenomenal for the sport. I just hope people start watching it more and more, and the sport keeps growing. Because that's what happened with the motocross industry. They weren't on TV, they got on TV, and now look at it. Everyone's watching Supercross. So I'm hoping that this industry does that just as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will tell, that's for sure.
It will. It's a hard market to promote, and I know there's a lot of people that are digging deep all across the world, and here in the United States, they're just digging deep, putting money out of their pockets, just trying to get this sport out on the map. And I think it's starting to happen. That's for sure. And with great personalities like with what we've got in the industry, and we've always had in the industry, I think we've got a great gemstone here as far as that is concerned.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. Totally agree with you.
Now let's talk a little bit about the individuals. You Travis Spader, we've seen him. He won his championship back in 2000, and we've also seen him come back a couple of different times. He's now racing, I believe, vet class up in the New England area and stuff right now, and still continues to do quite well in the ATV motocross world. Right.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's riding, up in the New England series and the ATVA series. And he's doing quite well. He's actually enjoying himself. He's having fun, and that's what's great. I still talk to him probably twice a week at least, if not 3 times a week. So we still stay in touch, and he's having a good time. And obviously, he has a problem. He gives me a call. I'm always there for him. I'm almost always there for everybody if someone needs me. That's for sure. I'm not the kind of guy to say no. That's for sure.
Lean on me. I can see you. That's your karaoke.
Lean on me. That's exactly right.
Well, that's great, man.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and maybe you ought to have a tattoo or something like that made up, man.
Maybe. You never know.
That's for sure. Now, what about Doug Gus and some of these other big names you mentioned? Let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah. Doug is doing great. I talked to Doug a couple weeks ago. He's having fun doing some construction, and he's doing some crop dusting and stuff like that. He was, man, that was a great honor to work for that man, I can tell you that. He was knew what he wanted, very easy to work for, and I learned a lot from him, and I think he learned a lot from me. It definitely, without a doubt, the whole Suzuki race team was really fun with Yoshimura and Wayne Hinton, and unfortunately with Brant Russell, he was part of that as well. And my buddy Sean from Yoshimura, he was really a big part of it as well. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And Ryan, don't forget about Ryan, because without him, there wouldn't be no Suzuki, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was some good memories, I'm sure, for you and a lot of people, man. Let's talk. I want to hear your best story. If somebody comes up to you and you're talking on the street and they look at you, Paul, and they say, "Hey, man, what's your most memorable moment or funniest thing that ever happened that you can think of whenever you think of ATV motocross?"
That probably would be with Doug. We were in Gainesville, Florida, and Doug pulled a hole shot. And instead of going left, Doug went right.
Oh.
And kind of busted his bubble a little bit about that to this day. So it definitely was a pretty fun little thing, you know. And gosh, there's so many memories in this industry. It's not even funny. I mean, even with the days back in the days hanging out with Ryan, you know, Ryan and I had some serious funny stories to tell, and unfortunately, I don't know what you tell you on the radio, but they were definitely some good times for sure.
Well, maybe we'll have a late night edition, like a Quad Underground, sometime, and we'll get a little more in depth and detail about that.
I can talk to you a little more if we have that. That's for sure.
You know, in all honesty, we laugh and make light of that right now. But in all honesty, I'm kind of looking into going live with Quad Radio on some Wednesday. Maybe even, heck, you never know. It could be even tonight or tomorrow night. I'm just going to pop up a thing on Facebook and Twitter and stuff and say Quad Radio Underground is live, man, and maybe we'll get you on there.
Hey, I'm all for it, for sure.
We'll try to get
whatever helps this industry. I'm for it. That's for sure. I'm dedicated to this industry 100%. Even if I'm not there, my heart's still in it for sure. You know, it's going to be really tough for me not going racing this year for sure. You know, I wish to God I was with Thomas Brown this year, because that kid is one heck of a kid, man. He's got one heck of a heart, along with his dad. And his dad, you know, they're just a great family to work for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to see, you never know, man. Somebody might step up and say, hey, wonder what it's going to take, and they might buy a sponsorship off Thomas, and bam, there you are. You could be in there before you know it, and we could be talking to you every week.
That'd be great. I sure wouldn't say no, that's for sure. You know, it was just a decision that I had to make. You know, but I sat down with my wife, Rebecca, and we talked about it a little bit, and, you know, she told me that I had to make that decision. She wasn't going to do it for me, but you know, I know how she feels, and it's tough, you know, raising 3 girls for sure, you know, by yourself. So, you know, it's they're starting to get a little older now, and they're starting to say, "Hey, Daddy, where are you going? Where are you going?" You know, I am going racing, you know, and they understand. They know that I bleed blue, so they know.
I know what you mean, man. It's tough with kids sometimes, and when they don't understand. But hey, and it's always good to spend time. That's what I like about winter. One thing I do like about the break or the off season is the chance that I get to spend with my kids. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of special times and memories are made. So take advantage of the time that you've got. They're only a little one time, dude.
I know. And my kids want to go fishing this year, so I'm excited about that, actually. I'm going to take them fishing for sure.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to wrap things.
Hey, listen, you got to do something, right? Yeah. You got to do something, that's for sure, because you just can't sit around and sit on the couch. So I figured, you know, I'll take them fishing. I got a really nice lake down the street from me, and my buddy's got a boat, and we're going to go fishing for sure.
If you got cell phone service there, you can take your phone with you, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all the Quad Radio reports we'll be having coming in, so it all should be good, man.
Exactly right. When racing's on Saturday, you bet your butt I'll be on the internet watching it.
All righty, brother. Well, we'll talk to you soon, Paul. Thanks again for your time today, and enjoy your family, man.
All right, thanks. I'll see you soon, for sure.
That's Paul Turner. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.